All right, guys, welcome back to the Wemaxit YouTube channel. I'm your host JD. I'm here with my co-host Africans to chop up the Concacaf U20 first part of the quest in order to qualify for the World Cup. I don't even have a proper name for it. Africans, what are you
I
doing?
guess
And what would you
I'm good.
consider? Because this is we're going to the championship side. So what would you?
Yeah.
Is this the Concacaf U20 tournament?
I think they're calling it the qualification round, similar to what they did with the senior women's. So they're calling this the pre-qualifiers for the last teams in pot
Okay.
5 and 6, whereas the pre-qualifiers, this is the qualifiers, and then the final eight is a championship. So I guess
Oh,
this is
oh
the
yes.
qualifiers. So
All right. So CONCACAF U20s lady get into World Cup. That's what it name.
yes, getting to the
The
World
name
Cup,
is,
pretty
yeah.
much.
You get into the World Cup.
Yes,
So the first
yes.
stage of into the World Cup, we saw a load of groups. We're going to go through them.
Mhm,
Um, let man talk about what we took from those
mhm,
teams qualified, how much pieces we do believe that they would have needed and stuff. So
mhm.
good amount of things. So Africans, obviously I know that you're coming from the Canadian side. So what say you on the Canadian side? Were you impressed?
I it's tough to judge this Canadian side because it felt as if Canada, I mean, at the youth level, you have a big three of teams, right? You have the US, you have Mexico now firmly there, and then you have Canada. So Canada being at this level, it's a bit of a two-edged sword for them, right? For one, you could argue that they're too good for the level that they're at, right? And so you saw that with some of the results. Outside of Cuba, I don't know what it is with Canadians and Cuba, but Cubans give Canadians a lot of trouble on the pitch. So if we don't have to play them, very good defensive team still. So it's hard to judge it. I was having this conversation on Twitter actually with some people who cover the team. What would you rather have? Would you rather have this team be in this competition, or have them be with either the US or Mexico, so finish top two, and then sit there and wait for the championship round? The difficulty is, well, with the federation right now, you don't have as many friendlies for youth. It seems like there's a lot more things for like U17s than there are for U20s sometimes in terms of camps and just friendlies with other nations. So this is probably the best case scenario for what the resources that are available, which are you play in a lower tier for them, you get a lot of minutes, you'll see some players, you probably beat every team 5, 6, 7, in some cases 10-0. But then at least that's your training camp. That's your camp. You see the players, and then when next month comes, maybe you make a few decisions, maybe you had a few injuries out, and then you move over. So for Canada, it was just a matter of judging, because for a lot of this group, this was the U17s, the when U17 moving up to the U20 ratio, and then a few other U17s that didn't make it, and some younger U20s as well. So I think it's a good opportunity for them to see it. Ideally, you want the bye to the finals. You want to just be there. But for what the federation is at and what their current situation is, I'll take the extra games, even though maybe you think the competition may not be up to par for, say, the ladies that are playing there.
Okay, so you believe that your group maybe never gave it enough tests, but you still believe that enough extra games is good enough than none. Because if you never entered this tournament like United States and Mexico, you wouldn't have
Mhm.
any friendly based on what's going on with the federation. Oh Lord,
Yeah.
federations,
Yeah.
federations, federations. Wow.
One is the suburbs, JD. One is not. I've said this many times, so it's fine.
All right, so we have the two personnels that came in, which is United States and Mexico. Those two teams will
Mhm.
not be participating in none of these first prelim group
Yeah.
thingy. They go straight to the championship stage. So Africans, based on that championship stage, you are okay with these two teams go through automatical? You're okay with that? After
Well,
seeing the tournament played out, because remember they said it's a new revamped system.
it is. It's revamped, but then it's similar to what the women's championship was, right? And this is going to be the format for all CONCACAF Youth Championship. So basically, rewarding the top two teams and the top two ranked teams by letting them have more time and more camp. So in this case, I mean, I've seen it from both angles. I've been Canada on the senior women's where we're already there with the US, and we sat and we played friendlies, and then we finished second still. And now at the youth level, we're here. I think I've had issues with this specifically. I liked how they were able to spread it out a little bit more. They were playing in Curacao, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, so they were able to spread the games out a little bit more for the amount. I do think the timing of this is a bit harsh. We had about 7 teams who had to withdraw from this, right, including
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
fourth team, Haiti, right? Haiti couldn't participate. Some most groups were supposed to have 5 to 6 teams in them, and some of them 7. But everything kind of averaged back out to 4 to 5 teams. So you were left with 3 games, 4 games. And the big selling point that Concacaf had was getting more competitive matchups. But if your teams can't get there, you're back to the old format, and it's a little bit difficult. So it's hard for me to judge it after one. I'd like to see how this looks on, say, like the men's standpoint. So when we get to like the men's U17, the men's U20, maybe next year to see how it looks again. And if you're still having the issue of teams dropping out, then I think you really have to reconsider it. But it's probably going to be here for the next 4 years until the 2026 World Cup, and then it will get revamped after that.
Okay, okay. All right, fair enough, fair enough. We will wait and see. Let me know, guys, in the comment section, what say you once you're coming in. Success CL, thanks very much for passing through. Massive, massive respect. So the other qualifiers would have been Panama.
Mhm.
Looked good. What say you on
They look
Panama?
good.
What you saw from them? Because I thought that they're
Panama looked
stronger than what
good.
I first expected.
Yeah, Panama looked good. I mean, they were in Group B with Curacao, St. Martin's, Bahamas. They did have the benefit of not having Haiti or St. Kitts and Nevis in the group. They had to withdraw. And I know you may not think much of St. Kitts and Nevis, but I mean, at their U20 last year,
Hmm.
they surprised me in getting out of the group and looking good in some matchups. They do have some talent, and they do some good recruiting in parts of the US and Canada. So I don't doubt the talent that's there. Just unfortunately weren't able to play. But Panama definitely benefited of not having Haiti there. Still talented group. They were able to win the group outright over Curacao and St. Martin. So Panama looked good. Salazar, Gross, good goal scorers who have been. I kind of want to keep an eye on to see what they're able to do. But Panama winning their group definitely. I won't put an asterisk on it because you play who's in front of you. So I think at the end of the day, they did a good job of just playing the teams, beating those teams, and moving on. They'll be an interesting team just because I think they do have enough offensively that you have to respect them. I do wonder, with a lot of these teams, there's going to be the same refrain. I wonder how they are going to hold up against some more offensively powered teams, right? Because in these, you had a hierarchy of teams. You had teams who had the scoring punch. You had some teams who were just defensively solid, and then some teams, for lack of better words, they were happy to be there, right? When you get to the championship level, you can't hide anything anymore, right? And even
Facts,
in some of
facts,
these
facts.
matchups, when we get to like when we talk about Jamaica, who's next, right? Jamaica and Honduras on paper, based off the results, you would think maybe Honduras, but then when you put those two on the pitch, you saw where Honduras had some issues defensively, the back line,
Yes,
even though the
yes, yes. The
passing was fine, that
goalkeeper
pressure
and stuff.
just
Yes, yes. That is
yes.
true. That is true.
Mhm. So as the
All right,
competition continues, you can't hide as much. But yeah, I think good.
all right.
Congrats on Panama moving forward.
So since you talked about hiding, you think that Panama will be one of the teams that gets exposed? And Gary
I don't.
Powell, thanks for being here. People that's listening, let me know. Every team that we talk about, we are going to ask if they are going to get exposed, because majority of the teams, the only team here really got tested to some extent was Jamaica. To be honest, all the other teams actually gotten through without so much scares, because Panama, they have dealt with everybody pretty much comfortable. Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
surprisingly, they looked solid. Damrep, they looked solid. Canada, they looked solid, and Costa Rica coming through. Someone has to beat them by 785 million, 3 billion
Mhm.
goals. So they
Carry the
looked.
two, JD,
So it's,
and carry the two.
so it's only Jamaica really got tested, and you still saw the limitations of Honduras to a certain extent. So at the same time, you had learned what Jamaica could have actually gone, it could have
Mhm.
actually done at the next level. by seeing them facing Honduras team, because you saw what level Honduras team is at, and that
Mhm.
makes you know what Jamaica would need in order to go further. So you think that Panama will get exposed, or you think that they're good enough to compete to the pack? What say you, Marcella? Bless up yourself. Thanks for being here.
I think the question with these, because we know the U.S. and Mexico are going to be in two different groups. We know this, right? The way that the draw set up, even with the senior women, that's how they did the draw. You had U.S. in one
Yes,
group,
yes,
Canada
yes.
in another group.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, what you are doing now, because Canada is going to be in one of those two groups,
Yes,
essentially,
the group of death.
right? Whoever has the group with Mexico, the U.S., and or Canada is
Yeah,
like,
the
I
group
wish you
of
the best. I do. Maybe you'll catch Canada on a bad day and you're able to go, but based off of rankings and how we've seen them play, you're essentially trying to avoid whatever group Canada is in because you have less spots to move, and it's only top two that move on. So
yes, top
if
two.
you're
That's the
fighting
moves on.
for, you're essentially, you have five teams essentially fighting for, on paper, one spot. Now, again, anything can happen. Maybe Mexico and the U.S. don't look as strong because they haven't had the games. Maybe there's an upset. Maybe the games play on the
Ooh,
pitch.
well, no problem, no problem,
But
no problem.
yeah,
Which one?
however,
Africans, that's why we should go by the order. Let we discuss all the teams first, because I would
yes,
have asked you which one of the teams then, but let we discuss the team first, all right? And then we'll take some questions. We have Dark Horse here
yes, let's do that.
saying
Let's do that.
anyone know why Concacaf has been holding these youth tournaments in Dominican of late. For me, I think that Dominican is kind of better than United States. Everyone can get there. You know, United States, some of the time they
Mhm.
do deny passports for a lot of countries. So I think I would always prefer it to be in Damrep than actually in United States. And this is in Nicaragua, right? So I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yes. So, anyways, let me move on. So, you talked about Canada, you talked about Panama, Puerto Rico, and Damrep.
Mhm.
What you saw from both of those teams? To say what you saw from both of those teams, and then we can move on to Jamaica.
Mhm. I think from a Puerto Rican standpoint, Puerto Rico has just been Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic actually have done a good job at recruiting in the U.S. And building and keeping those groups together. We've seen a lot of the same players at the U17 level move up to the U20 level here. So I think it's a testament to A, recruiting for both programs, B, keeping the groups together and just having them continue to develop. So it's good to see Puerto Rico low-key U17 and U20 finished fourth. So to see them here at this level is not a surprise. They definitely were a team that was good, that going through. And then Dominican Republic again, able to qualify on home soil and then going to play on home soil afterwards in the championships. Good on them. Still love their goalkeeper. U17 moved up to U20. Love the goalkeeper. Very good in terms of her technical ability and just movement within the box and commanding that. So I love that from them. But those two teams, I've just liked how they've recruited and kept a lot of the same players together and moved them up and just recruited not only and build a team not only from their local leagues, but able to get some players from the US, get some players from Canada, and keep the groups together and just have them look good. So well done for them and loving what I've seen from them so far.
All right. So, good afternoon, DNA. How you doing? And guys, make sure you come in, smash the like button, share, and subscribe. We have 22 people here. Definitely smash the like button, subscribe, and share. And definitely go over Africans and subscribe to his channel as well. His link will be in the description and also in the first pin tag as well. So definitely go over there and subscribe. We are going to keep on doing a lot of tournaments coming up. Believe me, you
Mhm.
definitely want to subscribe to both of these channels, because we're gonna have a lot of tournaments coming up, girls and boys as well, and also World Cups on top of World Cups coming. So don't worry
Mm.
yourself, you're gonna have contents for days. King Judah said, "I've seen Canada play, and they can be defeated." All right, we're not gonna get there as yet. King Judas, let we go towards Jamaica now. What you saw from the Jamaican team, so we can get into the entirety of the teams qualified.
No, for sure. I think looking at Jamaica, are we officially calling them the mixtape girls? No, we're not calling them the. I've been calling them the
Mixtape
mixtape
girls. So
girls. Yeah, because
What
you
do you
don't they
mean
don't
by that?
have the album out yet, JD. Their album
Oh,
isn't
oh,
out yet, but
okay,
so
their
they got
album is not out.
mixtapes. So
Wow,
they're youth
mixtape
level. So they're the
girls.
mixtape girls for me. So maybe I've been calling them that. So but I think looking at their U17s and U20s over the last 2 years, and then looking at this group at the U20, they look more comfortable than I've seen them in the past. They're more comfortable on the ball. They're more comfortable passing. They've kind of adopted a bit of that mentality that I saw the U17s for Canada adopt, which is we, we may not have the ball, but we are going to have pressure on you from the opening kick till the final kick. We're going to make things uncomfortable. We're going to press your back line. And sometimes that catches them out. Like if you press them and you pass through that, we saw that against Honduras. And the few times Honduras had the ball, they were able to pass the ball and get final third, and shot selection was not good. But you saw some of those things. But as a unit, compared to what I've seen from them in the past, miles improved. And I like that mentality where it's like, if we don't have the ball, that's fine. You're not going to have time to pass. You're not going to have time to think. We're just going to keep the pressure on you the entire game, and eventually our our pace and endurance is going to outlast yours, and we are going to capitalize on the mistakes that you make. So Jamaica has definitely looked much more improved than the U17s and U20s I saw last year. Um, so
Okay,
from them
okay.
there, I still think there's a lot, not a lot, but I wish they could have capitalized more on their chances. I think there were some games which were maybe closer than they could have been. In terms, and again, you judge a game by the score, but the flow of the game. There's some games you're dominating and you're only up 1-0, but I feel like they had a lot of good opportunities that they really messed up. And when you get to this level, there's no minnows in these last 8 teams. So if you don't convert on your opportunities, you are going to the other teams will. So I think that's the one thing for Jamaica. I'll say if they can continue to be a little bit more clinical, they don't have to be 100%, but improve from say 15% to maybe 25% clinical for the chances you create, and that maybe helps them have a good shot at making the FIFA U20 World Cup.
All right. I do agree with you that they looked better, passed the ball much better. I
Mhm.
saw way more problems, to be honest. I don't think the
Mhm.
transition plays are good enough with those personnels that we played against, because the person will be more elite against the other
Mhm.
persons. The spacing, the passing ability from others will be even better coming around. So I think we have improved with miles, but remember the
Yes.
next player teams them are elite teams. You get me?
Mhm.
Because Mexico and Canada, Mexico and United States, I would say they are elite teams, because there are elite teams at U17s. I can
Mhm.
imagine how good these girls get over a year's time to come back here. Flores and those girls, they are going to be back again, Africans.
Mhm.
Yes,
And
so
there's
they are going to
18,000 Thompson girls coming, JD. The
yes.
US is a factory for Thompsons. There's three more coming, I'm sure.
Yes, so I can tell you it's going to be problematic. So I like the test the one I would say two. Jamaica got test at all levels with the
Mhm.
pressing, and they dealt with it okay. I don't think they dealt with it good against the Honduras team. I think it was just wing transitions and speed and over the top ball. I don't see them did the same opening up like against Bermuda. I wanted to see them do
Mhm.
um, more of that in the high intensity game, because that's what you're going to face with all of these teams that
Yeah.
you're going to be facing in the final eight. So I wanted to see more of that. You keep the same um education from what you got from the first game in this game. I never saw that still, but as you know, it's a win at all cost, according to what
Yeah.
I've heard the girls them said, because the girl them said that's what the coach tell them, to fight, 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 fight. So the instruction might not be so deeper than what I first thought. Yes, so
Yeah.
I would see, but I think we would need a little bit more, especially in midfield. I think you need somebody that can
Mhm.
command the midfield. I want to see somebody moving the ball, and you can see that they're thinking. It's like Riley Jackson. You saw like she look
Yeah.
how young she is, and you can realize that she's clicking. You can see that her footballing IQ is on a different level. You get me? Because you saw it even in the World Cup. Anywhere you put her, you saw it there. So even
Mm,
United States losing, you can still see that she is definitely a talent. Obviously, she went on to miss the penalty and against Nigeria, and that
yeah.
might come off a little way, but you can see the talent of the players. Them, I think Jamaica need one of those players in midfield to make it tick. We don't have that, so it makes us have to move from back to front too fast. You get me? And
Mm,
the same thing that you said is our strength might turn out to be our weakness because back to front, after 20 minutes, you're done against United States and Mexico, the pressing level and the intensity level, because you're not going to touch the ball and you're going to just run
yeah.
back to front. You get me? So I want somebody that can control the game. So we have
Hmm.
a few personnels that they said they can come through. I would love to get a Washington in the team and others in
Hmm.
the team. So that's the thing that I saw from Jamaica. That's why I'm still worried. That's why I ask personnels to make sure we get
Hmm.
as much of these bigger players in. Would you
Yeah.
agree or disagree?
I think I would agree because I think the one thing getting and talking to some Canadian fans, I'll bring some Canadian perspectives, right? I think it's about building the right habits at this level because when you get there, it's like moving up in competition, right? If using the EPL, England, right? A pass you can make in League Two gets picked off in the championship and you don't even attempt to make it in the Premier League, right? So like some of the passes and some of the lanes, and then I was looking at Canada in the same breath where I'm saying, okay, the passes we're getting away with against like the teams that we're playing, we're not gonna be able to do these things. We can't be
Thank
playing at
you.
this pace and assume that you can do those passes. Now, and I think that's a good wake up call for Canada was the Cuba matchup. Cuba was solid defensively, and hey, if you guys aren't doing anything, Jamaica's not doing anything, play Cuba. I'm telling you, like they will press you, and they are defensively solid enough. Maybe they don't have the same attacking, but they'll make you have to play a good, smart game. Even though Canada had chances, but I felt that Cuba was a good wake up for them walking into their El Salvador matchup, where then you saw the girls actually start to click at that faster level. And that was good to see. But that's the thing. Now we're going here, and I said this earlier, you can't hide against these teams. Every one of these teams has won a group or thinks that they are the best in the region. So you're with nothing but champions. Whatever confidence you have, don't worry. The girls across from you, they have that level too. So it's a matter, it's the small details that will be the big difference in these games. So whether that's passing, whether that's pressing properly, having the right gaps, whether that's being clinical in the opportunities, all those things are now going to be more exemplified because the chances aren't going to be there. That pass that they put through against who I'm just going to say a random team here, but like a pass against St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that pass is not available in Mexico or the US, let alone Panama or Puerto Rico. That pass isn't there. So
All right.
now you have to start thinking faster and playing faster as well.
King Judah says, oh, Dark Horse, it's on the screen. The teams that went through
Yeah,
so far: Panama, Japan, you mean Panama, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Canada, and more than likely Costa Rica
Costa
coming
Rica.
through.
Yeah.
King Judah said, just like JD said, we need to bring a few girls. Yes, man, we need somebody that has the ability to dictate the pace because if you don't have a pace dictator, you're going to be all over the field. And if it's speed you're using, you have 15 minutes
Mhm.
and then you're done. Any intelligent team that can just play the lines and make sure you don't score on them, and then you're done. You understand me? King Judah said,
Mhm.
if Washington is eligible, we should bring her down. Yes, and I think those experienced players coming from the higher level would definitely help. So, based on what you say, who you would say, based on what you saw from all the teams, give me a top three. So, persons listening, give me a top three best performing team. Your top three best
Mhm.
performing team so far. Like all of the teams that qualified, um,
Mhm.
the top three best performer, who you would give it to in actual order because I
In
have
actual
mine. If you
order.
want me to go first,
Yeah.
I can go
Yeah.
first. All right.
I have my favorites, JD. You know that I have my
Yes. Okay.
favorites,
Give your
and
favorites. Like, I want to hear.
apparently I bad mind Jamaican youths all the time. So what can I say? Well, I must stay consistent. But no, I think for me, Canada did a good job. So I'm putting Canada at number one.
Canada first for
Um,
you.
Yeah. Again, all games. Because my biggest question with them was midfield. Like, technically speaking, we brought in 3 actual midfielders for this qualifiers, which I know at the youth level you have that fluidity and you can move players up and down. So I get that, but still, you only had 3 midfielders there. Also, shout out to Geneva Hernandez Gray, who played most of those midfield minutes and looked good, confident on the ball, making the right decision most times. So especially after her U17s and then coming up to the World Cup. Good to see her continue to progress. So I'm putting Canada at number 1.
Hmm.
At number 2, I have to respect the team that seems just to always be there. And that is going to be Puerto Rico for me. Puerto
Ooh,
Rico,
Puerto Rico,
I
yeah.
respect. JD, 4th place in the last 2 tournaments, U17,
No,
U20. I
you
respect
don't need
them.
to convince me because
Oh,
I am going with you.
I
I
am
am going.
telling you.
I am actually. I actually had it different. That's what I wanted to know, but I'm not going to say
Good, good, good,
anything.
good.
Yes,
Good, good, good.
but I
So,
do rate Puerto Rico highly as well.
mm. So yeah, so I think with that being the case, so that's 2, and then 3. I'm going to give respect here to Jamaica. Jamaica surprised. I didn't think Jamaica was going to beat Honduras, to be honest. I didn't,
Yes,
and they did, and the pressure took Honduras out of their
you just
element.
put me under
And
serious pressure. You just put me under
eh,
serious pressure.
AJ, well, it's okay. I'll live. I'll live. Will you? I'll live.
So Jamaica is the top
So
three.
those
Oh
those
my
those
God!
are my
All
top
right,
3, and then special shout to Dominican Republic because they are the team that I was going back and forth with. But those are my top 3. So Canada, Puerto Rico, and then
and
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
All right. So based on what I've assessed, I've used passing ability, spacing, and also finishing ability. So for first,
Mhm.
I thought that Puerto Rico had more difficulties than both Jamaica and Canada. So I had Puerto
Okay.
Rico first. This is African. I
Okay.
had Puerto Rico first. I know I had called you out in 2 videos. I said I think Puerto Rico doing a good thing when I saw them play. I said, wow,
Good.
Africans,
Good.
Canada looks solid with their firepower, but the fluidity of play, I think Puerto Rico was the most impressive team. All right, yes. Then I put
That's fair.
Canada second. Canada second, based on what I saw. They were finishing, they were playing hard teams, their spacing was good, and their fluidity was one of the best in the entire tournament. So Puerto Rico get first for me, based on
Mhm.
obviously Canada will get better because Canada trying to work on things and they're putting the Shockwood and
Yeah.
all the new girls them coming in and everything from 15 coming up
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
saw 15 the
Mhm.
15-year-old girls them that
Yeah.
big
Chukwu's
strong girl,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chukwu, yeah,
Her
she's
twins
there.
coming. Don't worry, JD. We got a set of twins coming. We're good.
So Puerto Rico, I think obviously guys, Puerto Rico eases the look fluid because they're taking all the American players them and just put them straight
Mhm.
in. So they look fluid. And then I put Canada second. Canada second. I thought that Canada need to work on their fluidity, as you said. When low block teams set in, they can't break them down because that is the problem. The fluidity, all of the firepower, all of those girls that can strike ball from 900,000 yards. You need to start striking from a different level. You need to start tiki
Yeah.
taki from a few times to draw them out of space. I thought that they didn't reset good enough for me because sometimes you can't
Mhm.
just keep on piling on the pressure. Drop back to get reset to make the space easier for you because the more clusters give you more injuries. I saw United
Yeah.
States did that better and a lot more. And then, sorry,
Yeah.
I would have to put Jamaica at fourth because I'm putting Damrep at third.
Okay.
Damrep was you're lucky you get Canada at second. Damrep fluidity is equally as impressive as a Puerto Rico, but I just believe that
Mhm.
because of the finishing ability from Canada, that's why. So Canada and Jamaica, they look like the same pattern of team to me. Like n- Canada is better than Jamaica. Don't get me wrong. The forward are
Okay. No. No. No.
better.
No. I'm here. I want to hear what you say before I react to what you say. Yeah.
The fluidity
Okay.
is just not there in none of these T2 teams. Both of them are big,
Oh.
fast, and strong, and one have 50 million finishers on it. Jamaica have forwards, but they are not as good as finishing as the Canadians. So the Canada
Okay.
team is better than Jamaica, but they have similar problems.
Mhm.
I am going with Puerto Rico and Damrock.
Yeah.
Those two teams are much, much more fluid than both Jamaica and Canada. But Canada, because of their finishing ability, I put Canada over Jamaica. So Damrock made it third for me. So Puerto Rico first, Canada second, and Damrock
Mhm.
third. Jamaica made it just behind them in fourth position. So I don't have Jamaica over none of those teams because those teams are teams that I think will shock we and cause as much problems in the qualifiers. I truly believe so. Puerto
Mhm.
Rico, don't sleep on them people, of causing United States problem. I think they have improved enough to make it tough on teams. And remember, guys,
Mm.
when you have fluidity in your teams, you can strategize the way you play. You can drop deep and play it out and stuff. You can do more. You don't have to kick the ball away every single time. You understand me? And that's what
Mhm.
I am seeing. So that's why I go for my three. So see, Africans is not biased. He had Jamaica in his top three, and I never had Jamaica in my top three. You understand me? So African is not biased,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's begging friends. I think he honestly
No.
believe that they
Yeah.
make top three. So we
Yeah,
have
and
Charles
I
Brummer.
think that's
Beautiful
fair.
Charles Brummer.
Yeah, go on.
Charles Brummer, thanks for being here. Darkar said, I am impressed with Dominican growth as well. Football really catching on there, I think. Claudia Fletcher, bless up yourself. Thanks for being here. Massive respect. Guys, smash the like button. Give me your top three best performers you saw in the tournament. All
Mhm.
right. Africans gave his. He has Jamaica in it, and I never had Jamaica in mine. All right. And I gave you why I gave the others. And if you go there and look at what I'm talking about, maybe you would be impressed just the same. Because I know a lot of you guys
Mm.
only watch the Jamaican team, so you never really watch the other teams. All right, so Africans, who who you expect to qualify? This is the one now. This is the final point for the series. And guys, we're gonna bring a series with me and Africans. Every
Mhm.
week we are going to have a podcast that we come here once a week and chop up the thing
Yeah.
that is in that is actually ongoing, but I think it's going to be mainly girl football, like what we always did before. But we are going to
Yeah.
sign him to every week. So he has to turn up.
Hey, contracts. Send contract,
Contract.
JD. We max it
I
FC. I'll send you my kit before you
contract.
send me yours.
Contract. As you talk about that,
um,
My Jamaican jersey, from when I bought the damn jersey, and I know I can't get the jersey. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
mm,
Trick African, I tried trickery. Oh, they said you're trying to trick them, African.
well,
Unite for
you know me,
life.
JD. I like to soften the blow before I get in, before I drop the
See,
true knowledge on them. Yeah, they're third best in qualifiers, and they won't. No, 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 no. But no, I think they did well in this group. They did more than I expected from them, and I think that last matchup really was the eye opener for me, where I said, "Well, Honduras isn't good, or haven't been tested," and this is where again all the teams had at least one team that pushed them a little bit in their group, right? And for Jamaica, it was a Honduras matchup. For Canada, technically, I don't know. I think Cuba was a tougher matchup than, and I know you can say look at the actual pitch. I mean, look at the actual score. But the Cuba matchup, I think, was the best matchup for Canada getting ready for El Salvador, because then they went to that next passing level. Like some of the passing they were trying to do, they were just a lot more alert on that. And the only goal they conceded was a mistake on their end, which is tough. But then that creates another issue. You know more about your Jamaica's team than I know. Is our goalkeepers good? JD, I don't know. We faced three shots,
no,
I think.
no. I think your goalkeeper. I think I would give our goalkeeper the edge. You know why? I saw she let your goalkeeper let in that goal
Oh,
against
mhm.
El Salvador. It's a snapshot. It's hard to save, but I still believe that Brooks would have done a better job. I think Brooks carried her farm
Mhm.
from lower. Lower 17 comes straight up. So I think Jamaica is one of the best goalkeeper. And I do agree with Young Nindier saying that Jamaica have a good
Yeah.
goalkeeper. She will Yankney, I am telling you, we need a centre back. We need a centre back because it doesn't matter how good our goalkeeper is. If Honduras, if you had Maloof or what's her name again? The next one that Smith, Olivia Smith. If you had Maloof or Olivia Smith,
Olivia
they
Smith. Smith, yeah, yeah.
they tapped in 4 easy goal because of communication error. It's just we had like we gave away like 7 clear
Mhm.
chances to Honduras. But the problem is the Honduras girls, they are kicking the ball away instant. So you had 3-on-1, 2-on-1s, and
Mhm.
they're in the position, but they are I don't think they are a good concentrating concentrative team. And I think that's what let them down. But they got the chances. So for me, I would say I want a centre back. I want a centre back that can command the box
Mhm.
and link with the defensive midfielders. I want that. I don't think we have that. I think we are rushing the game too much, and that is problematic. So even though I think we have the best keeper, I signed the tournament. I want to say that she's up there, either 1 or 2. I think our defenders don't give her the relief. Yes. So that is my biggest problem. So I do agree with you, but I'm not highly high on the
Mhm.
centre backs as well. When is the U20 World Cup? For men or ladies? The next the U20 for men coming from May 20th. So it's gonna start to June maybe 3rd or something like that. Yes. So we will check for the
Yeah.
ladies for you. I think a Jamaican coach is working on the team. He was very vocal in the last game. Okay, yes, and I gave them all the credit that they do deserve. All right, so who you think Africans? I've asked you who you think can actually qualify. Who are your qualifying personnel? Let me know who you think will qualify because obviously you know that United States will be
Well,
in the opposite group. So you have to let me know if you think that United States won't qualify or Mexico won't qualify. So who you think will
mhm.
qualify? Because look, once you tip them to come first in the group, they are not going to face each other, and that simply means more likely you think that they're going to make it to the finals. And once they make it to the finals, they do qualify
I think
automatically.
y yeah.
You're lagging a little bit. Let me change it.
No, agreed. I think it's going to be US, Mexico, and so the thing that we haven't got confirmation on is if it's top 3. Oh, I am? Okay, give me a sec, give me a
Yes,
sec.
it
I
is
might
top
just switch
three.
over the camera here. Could be the camera. Let me switch over the camera.
You're hearing me
Okay.
live now? You're hearing me instant?
Okay. So if it's top 3, I would say probably US, Mexico, and then Canada. I just
It is
I
top
think the
three. It is
firepower will
top
be a
three.
lot for some of these teams. If it's top 4, because we are going up. Yeah.
It is top three. Top three. This is how it
The the
works.
the the
You're
reason why
gonna
I keep on asking top 3 or top 4 is because we know that. Yeah. Mhm.
you're lagging big Africans. You want to jump off and return?
I'm lagging. Yeah, let me jump off real quick, yeah.
All right, yeah. All right, so that's Africans. So before in the time that Africans will go back and then return, this is how it goes. It's going to be 2 groups of 4. Then 2 teams leave each group, makes it 4 in total. Then after that, first will take on second in the opposite group, and then first will take on second in the opposite group. All right. The winners of that, both winners of each semifinals will qualify automatic because they would go straight to the finals. Then the 2 losers will take on each other for the 3rd spot there. So it's 3 spots only going through. All right. Yes. As you could see here. So it's just 3. So they gave you everything here. So 3 advances overall. All right. Yes. So they don't have the 4th spot that people want. All right. So it's only 3 spots. I don't know if they're talking about in a confed for the fourth spot or whatever the situation is, but we don't have that now, so we can't talk on that. So far, they're saying it's 3 spots alone available. All right, so you have to make it to that. For me, I let me explain to you who I think. Um, so we have Darker says USA, Canada, and Jamaica for me. All right. So in order for that to happen, Darker, you're saying that Mexico won't make it none at all. All right. For me, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be tough. All right. So you, Darker, you have Jamaica coming out of their group, whichever group they go in, United States or Mexico. And if Canada drop into that same group, it would have been a group of death. You understand me? Because you have Canada, Mexico, or United States and Jamaica with someone else. You understand me? For me, I'm very sorry, but I think it's going to be tough if Jamaica don't add any pieces. I don't think they are going to be as competitive as what I think they could be with the pieces, because I think both Mexico and the United States is better than almost everybody by a good stretch at U20s level. And I think they are going to have no trouble beating everybody. You understand me? So both of them will go through, and then we are going to fight spots. From what I saw, I had Damrep in my top three. I had Puerto Rico, Canada, Damrep. I think the third spot will be taken by one of those teams, and more likely it. So from what I think, the teams that I think will advance normally, I think it's going to be Canada will advance in whichever group they do go in. They're going to advance, and then I am looking at Jamaica, Damrep, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, once they do come through, to cause the problems. Out of all of that, who I would pick to go through, that I think can pull it off, I want to say that Puerto Rico might be a team that might pull it off and go through again. I think Puerto Rico might just go through again. So you know what, I'm gonna go with, if Jamaica don't add any pieces, I'm going to go with for the next round, United States, Mexico, um, Canada, and Puerto Rico. If Puerto Rico avoid the group of death. So if they go in the group of Canada and anybody else,
Mhm.
they're not going to make it through. But once they do avoid the group of death and in the next one with one big hitter, I think Puerto Rico will get it through. Puerto Rico is 2 years on the bounce in two different competition. I want to say they're going to build on it. I do think Jamaica is going to improve, guys. I am not bringing down Jamaica. I do think they're going to improve, but this is a team that's building over and over. And out of Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Damrep, Panama, Costa Rica, I think Puerto Rico, I would say that they might be the tricky one. Jamaica could be challenging on any day, so I would give them a puncher's chance. But Puerto Rico is the team I'm gonna say that might topple everybody else. That's what I'm gonna say. So Africans, give your take, because you dropped out for a while. Um,
Yes.
who are the teams that you think will make it through? And it's only three
I'm
teams that three teams will
it,
advance.
it's only 3 teams. The reason why I keep on saying maybe 4 is just
Mm-hmm.
because they've expanded from 16 to 24
Mm-hmm.
teams for this competition. I wonder if they do the same ratio for spots. So, like on the men's side, for example, for 24, there's essentially 4 per region minus Oceanic, and then 5 for UEFA. And then Common Bowl gets 4 as well. Then whoever's hosting gets the 1. We still don't know where the host is going to be for that. But when it's at 24, usually each federation gets about 4. That's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying potentially it could be 3 to 4.
Okay, but they're
So
saying here it's three, so I can't say.
it's saying
Yeah.
that for now, but the factor is I'm waiting from FIFA to know what the number is. But we're going to operate as if it's 3. And there's no doubt. But
Yes.
I'm just letting people know there is a
And I think,
chance that
you know
they
why
might. Yeah.
I think it's three, because the way they designed the tournament for it to be three. If it was four, what they would have done, it would have just said, okay, anybody that qualifies from the group stage, as like how we did the ladies, you would have automatically qualified, because it's 4 spots. So why would
Mhm.
you want them to play for first, who qualify second, when all of them are just going to qualify? You get me? So
No, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
that's why they did the format like that, because it's three. So they want to eliminate the fourth person and give them a fair shot. So
Hmm.
you get more than one games to prove that you're good enough to take if you lose both games. So if you go through,
Hmm.
you lost a second place, and then you go on a third place battle and you lost again. You got two stick bites of the cherry. So you
Yeah.
deserve to drop out. You understand me? So that's why they
No
did it.
fair.
Martin Baker, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. It says bless up JD and Africans. JD, it looks like you have no respect for Canada. I had said Canada going through. I said Canada and Puerto Rico. I think will go advance to the next stage if Puerto Rico avoids the group of death with Canada and
Hmm.
Mexico or United States. That's
United
what I said.
States.
I
Yeah.
have respect for Canada, man. I just said Canada and Jamaica have a similar lack of fluidity thing. So I wanted Africans to expand on the midfielders them, and like the midfielders them that dictates the play.
Hmm.
Who I should be looking out for. You know, that will change everything. That's what I wanted Africans to go to. But no, this is the first one of the podcast, so we can't take Africans
You
to
can't do
2 hours,
everything.
and
Oh,
then next week he doesn't want to turn up back again. All right? Yes.
oh,
It,
I'll be there, JD. Don't worry, don't worry. I've signed a virtual contract in front of these witnesses.
yes.
I'll be there.
Yes.
But no, I think no, I think for the teams, I'm still gonna go USA, Mexico, and then Canada. I think those teams right now would seem Canada. We've seen what they can do offensively, and the question is going to be for them: how will the midfield and the back line hold up when they're actually pressured? Cuba put pressure on them and made them uncomfortable. They were still able to pass through, but they were made to be uncomfortable. So now the question is, what are you going to do with a team that makes you uncomfortable and now can punish you if you make those mistakes? El Salvador is the only team that could punish them for a mistake that they made. So I think for Canada, that's what I'm looking at. The U.S. Mexico, we're going based off of reputation than anything. Could I see one of them maybe drop off? Um, it's possible. I'm not counting on it, but it's possible. Um, I'm gonna say not likely, specifically because the U20s for the US have been playing friendlies, and they've been going to Europe playing friendlies. And then for Mexico, Mexico has their youth leagues with their domestic league as well. So their academies with their teams have been giving their players minutes since for like the last 3 or so years. So they will be having a group that's played together for a while and has a lot of professional minutes under their belt. So they will be comfortable in pressure. They'll be comfortable in space. The question is going to be, can you beat a team like that? And we'll find out. But let me ask you this. I know we're trying to avoid whichever group Canada ends up with, but just based off reputation, JD, which team would you want to be in a group with, USA or Mexico?
Oh, as if I'm Jamaica. Just what you're saying.
Yeah. If you're any of these other teams, if you're these other teams,
Uh,
which ones are you
okay.
thinking we want to be with that group?
If I'm Jamaica, I would say I would want to be in the group of United States slightly, because I think the pressing from Mexico, I don't think Jamaica can deal with that. I think that they would have embarrassed Jamaica very easy with the pressing. Yeah, I do believe
Hmm.
that, because I saw what the problem Jamaica faced with passing team, but a team that is 15 times better than any team you face is going to be ridiculously worse. United States play passing football, but they are much more robotic,
Hmm.
and they seems to play in the same lineage of Jamaica style. So I think Jamaica would have a better chance to go
Hmm.
longer and sit deeper, and they can't fluid pass through the lines of Jamaica. I think Mexico will run rings around Jamaica, rings,
Hmm.
and not because Mexico is better than United States, but the style of play, and that's why they did so good at the World Cup, because no team at lower level football or younger level football can really deal with press, because press is the hardest thing to learn. And that's why
Hmm.
Mexico seems to push everybody, Spain, anybody. And Spain was just the best team in the world. But yet still Mexico did outperform United States on the big stage. So you see what
Yeah.
I'm here telling people long time. I'm giving people footballing game, and they never respected me. And I solely about the Mexicans, you know. But you guys, oh, United States
Yes.
is the greatest thing. Yes, they are the greatest when they get space to do their thing. But once you sit back and once you sit back and let them play, but once they have to break through your lines and reset and then play through it, I don't think they have that fluidity like the
Mhm.
Mexicans. I think the Mexicans are disrespected because the United States keep on winning all of these tournaments, so people don't look at them the same. You understand me? Yes, but Mexico is definitely the team that I would want to avoid. If I'm
Okay.
Jamaica, I would go up against United States over Mexico because the fluidity. Don't think Jamaica will fix that problem overnight. You know,
Mhm.
and Jamaica, like I saw the girls. Then they like to play physical. The Mexicans, they are going to have the ball and they have the technical
Mhm.
ability to go around you. So but the only thing you're going to get is a red card. You understand me? Because you're not going
Yeah.
to touch the ball. I saw how they do play, and I know maybe I'm overhyping them according to people, but believe me, when you see them do play at this level, they are that
Mhm.
good because they did it against United States, and United States couldn't get the ball from them as well. They had to use different traps to get the ball from them. So yeah,
Mhm.
I would say United States would be that team. I would go in that group, and the chance would be slim, but I would take my risk with United States for those reasons.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's fair. That's fair. Any player you think? Again, you watch a lot of the teams here, but I'll center this
Mhm.
out for Jamaica for you. Any player you think might really be able to break out for Jamaica at this next
The
level?
players that will break up for Jamaica, that I like. This girl, she's Jamaican. She playing in Jamaica. Seaton,
Yes.
she looks like a player that does everything right. She have good fundamentals.
Mhm.
So I think a player that can go through. Maya Ragun Handanan, she is the next one that I think she might break out a little bit better faster because she's
Mhm.
American. So, and she's in the system and she showed
Yeah.
promise. And what the promise that I saw she showed is is her ability to get information and come and put it out on the field because Jamaica was playing narrow the entire time and the teams them caused them all sorts of problems, and then she changed the game from a wing position. You get me? Yeah,
Hmm.
so I think that girl, she was always talented from U17s, and she played even the U15s. I thought that she overdid it a lot in the U15s because obviously she played in so much other levels, you know. Yeah, but I
Mhm.
think Akila Johnson, Ragun Handanan, and Seaton would be my three first personnel that I believe that will break through. And Brooks is already a star goalkeeper, so I don't even put her in it. But those
Hmm.
three players that I think will show some promise that could go overseas at this point. I know
That's
people
fair.
like
That's
Buckley,
fair.
but I am not 100% sold on her. I think she have the
Okay.
normal trait as how Jamaica play football. I think she has to learn football over again to do everything the proper way, you know. But she have good techniques and stuff. So and then you have
Mhm.
the forward, um, the forward that scored a few.
Atkinson.
Atkinson, Atkinson, she presses well, you know. But most of them girls, they even though Jamaicans would say that they are doing flashy things on the field. I don't think they are as effective as Seaton. They are not as effective as are
Hmm.
as well because this is what people looking out for footballers nowadays. And I think Seaton is more coachable. Akila Johnson looks a little bit more coachable, and Maya looks a little bit more coachable. So I would go for those three. Than the others. I'm not saying they can't reach anywhere, but I'm saying these are the players them that I think would be the more coachable ones because I saw the instructions that they are following on the feel and how they are changing things. So those would be my three that I would go with.
That's fair. That's fair. I think if I'm going to apply the same rules for Canadians, I
Yeah.
would say
But
I think
before
the
you start, because I'm
yeah,
gonna let it close the show. Man
sure,
from
sure.
Portland, yes, we are trying to find out. Norris and Douglas and USA, Canada, and Jamaica will qualify. All right. So everybody disrespecting Mexico. All right. Keep telling yourself that, Norris. You better take out one of those other teams and put Mexico in it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. And I always come here disrespecting Mexico every single time. Like
Yeah,
when you think
I
Mexico can't play football. It look like
I just
no, it
I'm
seems
not
like
I'm
I'm a
not
Mexican. I'm not a
Not
Mexican,
hey, JD, get that
but
passport too, eh? Get that passport too. You know?
uh, yeah, you know what? King Judah says sometimes we show too much respect to some of the team of these teams that it comes off as fear. Yes, that is true. Yes. Atkins, so we're not calling anybody no dung at all. No, no, no. That's not nice. That no Judas. That's not nice. That's not nice. You know, because we don't want to stereotype anybody. I'm just saying the others them because of what I saw them did and the feel. You get me? Not nothing where they're from. All right, so people, we have 50 people in the house. Make sure to smash the like button. Hopefully, we are on 50 likes if that's possible. I think it's possible, but I know half of that might just be people just watching and not wanting to support the cause, you know, yeah, because we might see something that you don't like, but you don't research it to see that we're talking the truth, but you don't have time. You just want to get angry. Yes, I know that. But anyways, Africans, take it away. Give your take on the final point. I will finish it. All the
Noted,
podcasts
JD.
will be at an hours long, guys. So hours
Mhm.
long with me and Africans because I can't take too much time out of the man time. I'm not making enough money to pay anybody, and you guys are not paying me enough money to pay anybody. All right? Yes. Um,
Fair, fair, fair. Fair, fair.
can we get the
I
coach
think
on the program? Go ahead.
no,
Man,
no,
I will
answer
do
the
a
question,
separate
JD.
video.
Yeah.
Man from Portland, I will do a separate video. Make Africans take his 4 minutes so we can shut off the stream. All right? Yes.
You gave me a time limit, JD. I feel like I want to be like pastor and start preaching for 2 hours now, just for kicks. Just for kicks. See me not get invited back. No, but I think so for Canada, the thing that I think is going to be interesting to watch between now and June, end of May, June, is going to be what Coach Ty does with the midfield. We saw Olivia Smith, Geneva Hernandez Gray come in and play. And honestly, Geneva played amazing. Florian Jourde, they were saying Jourdain. I didn't see an accent on the E, so it's going to be Florian Jourde for me. And Olivia Smith are the young U20s from last cycle, and they were the captains for the most part here. They were the, I mean, Olivia Smith had 8 goals here. Florian was scoring big goals in these moments. Looking to them to see what they do. I am curious to see what they do, whether it is substituting maybe a forward or two for an extra midfielder or two when they get to this next level. There were some great high ranking U17s from the last cycle who didn't make this team, who are in the midfield, which caught a few of us by surprise. And I think that's what we're going to be watching. Izzy Monk to name as one name that we're kind of looking at. So that's a name we're wondering if she makes it onto the squad. Do we lose a player like maybe Anaya Rose, who is the younger sister of the Jade Rose, the defender, in no relation to Deanne Rose? Apparently, in Canada, for the senior team, you're either a Rose or you're a Jade if you're breaking out. So if you hear those two names, they're coming through. But I think players that can really have a breakout, this player shouldn't be a breakout, but it kind of speaks to the depth that we had. Rosa Malouf came off the bench for the last game, right? And you had Amanda Allen on the pitch, with Annabelle Chuku on the pitch, with Florian Jordan on the pitch, with Olivia Smith on the pitch. Rosa Malouf was on the bench. And I think that speaks to the depth that we have in attack again. Maybe Sydney Tai came into this thinking we're just going to outscore our problems here. And they did it. But I think when Rosa continues to get into form, they're about to start their League One season. So a lot of those players are going to start playing a lot more regularly before they switch over and go back. So I think the game form, I'll be watching her and how she looks. If Rosa starts to gain that form she had last year, and then you have to have those conversations where it's, do you play an Allen or a Malouf, or do you play or Purin? I'm looking at Rosa Malouf to see how she plays here. Ella Ati was Ella Ati, no questions asked. So I'm happy with what she was able to do. Renee Watson didn't get much run here. That's the last player I'm curious to see. I'm wondering how she's able to transition through. But outstanding players, Geneva Hernandez Gray, um, playing in the midfield for pretty much the entire time. Nothing but respect for what she was able to do. And then the two captains, uh, Florian Jourde and Olivia Smith, those two well. But I'm watching Rosa Malouf to see how she looks in these next few weeks leading up to this tournament. And those are my callbacks for that. But yep, we'll have more content on my channel, I guess, as we go on, sporadically and
Mhm.
randomly as it goes, and we'll go from there.
All right, so guys, thanks all of you guys that turned up, commented and engaged with the entire content. Massive respect. So this is part one of the chopping up session. So definitely, if you like it, subscribe, share, and hit the like button. Yes, and definitely subscribe to African's channel. I will put it right immediately after I'm done with this video. I'm going to put it in the description and also in the link. So thanks yet again, Africans, for passing through. Massive respect, people. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.
Bye.